Welcome back to the channel, everybody. One thing I wanted to do before we do the unboxing of the Garmin ECHOMAP 106 is kind of walk through what I'm going to do with this unit. And for those of you that watch the channel and you've seen my video about how I have the console of my Vexus 1980 setup, you know that I've got two 93 SVs or 9-inch Garmins on my console, and I use one of those for mapping and I use the other one for side imaging and all my different types of sonar at the console. And then up in the front of my boat I have a 10-inch ECHOMAP, one of these units, and that's what I run my live scope on up front. I've had that set up now for a couple of years, and it's time to tweak that a little bit. So one of the things that I've run into a dilemma, or something that's kind of a pain, is when I'm up front running my live scope with one unit, I don't have my waypoints. So I have to reach down on my single unit, switch it from live scope over to the mapping so that I can see a waypoint, go to that place, and do that. And that's kind of a pain. I know some of you would say do a split screen where I've got part map and part live scope, but it really cuts down on the amount of live scope screen that I have. So long story short, I'm going to go to 2 units up front on the bow, and I'm going to go to 2 units on the console. So from a budget standpoint, I waited this year. I knew during the summer that I wanted to do it, but I waited until Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's ran their specials on their Garmin units. And this year they really ran a special on the 106 and the 12 and the 9. And the reason they ran such a good special on the 106 and the 126, the 10 and the 12, is because this has a GT54 transducer in it, which is a little bit older technology. They now have a GT56, which gives you more side imaging and deeper water and that type of stuff. It's a little bit better transducer, but for the price, I got this for $899 at Bass Pro because I signed up and used their credit card. I couldn't justify a 1-generation transducer change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the 9 inches on my console and I'm going to move that up front, and I'm going to replace that 9-inch with this 10-inch. So I'm going to have a 10 and a 9 up at the bow, and I'm going to have a 10 and a 9 at the console. And in essence, all I'm going to be doing once this unit is installed and it's set up like that is the 9-inch units, the one on the bow and the one on a console, they're going to be for mapping only. I'm just going to use those for mapping and watching my GPS points. I may use the mapping on the 106 on the console when I'm running, because the maps on it are a little bit more detailed and a little bit more up to date than my older 93. But as far as having 2 units with just my waypoints so that I constantly can see where my boat's at in relation to those waypoints, whether I'm at the console or the bow, the 93s are more than sufficient for that. So it helps my budget a little bit, and it may be something you would want to think about as well if you want to go to 2 units. Your older units, as far as GPS points and that type of stuff, they're fine. The upgrades that you get with a lot of these units, like I said, this one has a new transducer, so it's a little bit clearer. It goes deeper. It goes further out on side imaging. But the older technology is just fine. You don't always have to upgrade, and especially, again, if you just want units for waypoints. So that's what we're going to be up to. We're going to go ahead and do the unboxing of the 106, and then unfortunately, you guys all know, if you watch the channel, I live in Wisconsin, so we're not going to have open water, and we're definitely not going to have warm enough temps to do the install of this 106 at the console, and then the install of going to 2 units on the bow. But rest assured, that video will come later in 2023. So thanks for watching, and let's get to the unboxing. It's going to be a pretty quick unboxing because there's not a ton of stuff in here. So this is the 106 SV with the LVS 54 transducer. So I'll cheat real quick. I'm going to take a look at the end of the box and just kind of run through this with you. But again, it's the GT54 UHD transducer. The newer units have the GT56, and again, it gives you a little bit, I think 20% more on the side imaging, and probably a little bit clearer and better returns as far as the transducer goes. But the face unit, as far as the resolution and everything, it's identical to the 106 that comes with a GT56. Comes with the blue chart, G3 charts, comes with all your charts built in. And again, it's a 10-inch 10-inch screen. So let's go ahead and get inside of the box here. So right on top is your installation instructions in your owner's manual. Comes with a nice solid cover. One thing I'll say about the Garmin covers is I've been able to run down the highway with these on my units and they haven't blown off. I've had some other brands in the past that I've had an issue where I get to where I'm going to go fishing and the covers are gone. So I know a few companies make some straps that you can put around them as an insurance policy, but on the occasion that you do run down the road, these are pretty good covers. And then the next thing in the box is the head unit itself. And I'm not going to take the protective film and stuff off of this because I'm not going to install this for a few months because of the weather. But here's the 10-inch, the 106 ECHOMAP. It has your 4 presets over here, a slot here with 2 mini SDs. You can run this for my chart. And then zoom buttons here are up and downs for the various menus. This is a touchscreen unit, so I don't usually use too many of these keys. I do like to have the presets because I can put side imaging, down imaging, traditional sonar, and maybe mapping or side view. And then your power button up top. And then on the back, this goes into the quick cradle, and we'll pull that out, but you'll see this just has the pins on the back that interface with the cradle. There is a schematic in here, or a template, I should say, not a schematic, but this is if you flush mount, it shows you the pattern to cut, the hole size to cut, and that's if you want to flush mount it in something. I prefer not to flush mount. I like to have it on a gimbal because then I can move the angle of it. If the sun is hitting it wrong or something like that, I can adjust it a little bit to get the glare off of the unit so I can see. And this is where a lot of your, we'll go ahead and open up the box. This is where a lot of your installation parts are. Here's the fused power cord for the unit. This bag has got all kinds of screws and hardware in it, and it has, this is basically your transducer. So it has the GT54 transducer with cable. It's got a nice long cable, I think it's 20 feet, and then your transducer is inside of here. I can take this out of here and show you this. This transducer's been around for a lot of years, and that's why I was comfortable with saving $1,000 and getting a little bit older transducer. And then, like I said, there's various hardware in here, and all this, most of this is all related to mounting the transducer, your transducer plates and that type of stuff. It does come, in case you're wondering, it does come with everything you need to either mount it on the transom of your boat, but it also comes with everything you need to mount it on your trolling motor as well. So that's nice that you get both of that. You don't have to buy more hardware to mount it. It comes with isolators. I notice a lot of guys when I'm at tournaments don't use these isolators, or at least I don't see where they put them. And this, you put a loop in your transducer cable and you put this snaps around that, and it helps to isolate and get rid of interference. Make sure you use these guys. They put them in here for a reason. I'm not sure why a lot of people skip that step, but they definitely work and they have a purpose. So don't overlook the isolators. And then it also comes with your fittings for the cables. You have to put these on. They snap around, and that's what helps screw it into the back of the cradle. So those are all in here. And then it comes with some adhesive foam trim pieces, and this is again if you flush mount it. So this helps seal it so you don't get moisture in behind whatever panel you cut and the unit. And then finally the cradle itself. On the 10-inch and the 12-inch units, they make a really nice metal cradle. I'll show you real quick with the unit. So your unit comes to the cradle. You just put it on an angle, it sits on that, you lean it back, and then on the back there's a lever, and you just push that down and pull that, and it's locked on. And I've never had a problem with these coming off, so it's locked on there now. Another thing is they give you these dust caps. I strongly recommend when you don't have your head unit on there, make sure you put those on. Those connections are pretty fine, and that'll keep all the dust and dirt out of there. On the back side of the cradle, we'll go through the connections real quick. This is your power port. This is a network port. The nice thing about the 10s, the 106s and the 126 ECHOMAPs, they have two network ports, which is really nice. It has your transducer, 12-pin transducer. This is where the GT54 would plug into this unit. And then it has the LVS. So this is for the live scope for the LVS 12. You can buy a transducer that'll plug directly into this unit and work. It does have some limitations as far as how far back it sees and how far forward it sees and the angle and stuff compared to the LVS 32 and 34. But it is very inexpensive and you don't need the black box. So that may be an option if you want to get into live scope and save some money. I believe that particular transducer is only $400 and some. I know that's a lot of money, but compared to $1,500 or $1,600 for the LVS, the full system, it's a pretty good savings. So that's what that yellow port's for. And this is if you have NMEA system in your boat, the NMEA 2000 system. I don't have that in my boat, so I don't use that. The reason that this is nice that it has two network ports is if you do run live scope on it, your live scope actually black box interfaces with this unit through the network cable. And then I can run another one out into my network. So that's the cradle with the 106 SV. And that concludes the unboxing. So like I said, stay tuned. It's going to be a few months. I apologize for that, but we are going to do a full retrofit of the Vexus AVX. We're going to replace a 9-inch on the back with this 10, and we're going to put that 9 up on the bow of the boat. So thanks for watching.